What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to BitAssist, where, as the name suggests, we're here to assist you in understanding Bitcoin and, of course, altcoins. In today's episode, we're going to look at Zencash, a secure and private cryptocurrency for money, messages, and media, and is arguably one of the most exciting decentralized privacy coins on the market. But of course, before we get started, a massive shout out to everyone who is liking, subscribing, and of course commenting on our content. Please do keep it up. It really is awesome watching our community grow, and of course we do really appreciate that. Speaking about the community though, we'd like to start a new community vote on which coins we are to cover. So what we're going to do is we're going to send out a tweet every Monday with 4 different coins that you would be able to vote on, which we will cover on every Friday, like a community vote. Regardless of the coin, shitcoin or not, we will cover that for you and do our very best to give you a deep dive into these projects. Also, guys, if you're looking for amazing inside tips from a cryptocurrency brokerage, do make sure to join our weekly newsletter, which comes out every Monday. Of course, you're not going to be disappointed, and there's a lot of great details there on particular coins to watch. I'm going to put the description in the link below, so in the comments and of course in the description. Fantastic. So why Zencash? Well, of course, doing some more digging into Zencash, we wanted to find out particularly why it's been performing well and of course what it's all about. So just a little bit of a layman's terms description on its recent price action. Zencash is now floating around, the 100th position on CoinMarketCap. Its market cap is around 110 to 120 million at the moment. It's decreased roughly around 7% over the last week. Drivers of this is, the price went down roughly 8%, while the circulating supply went up around 1%. Yesterday, daily volumes are around 4.5 million. The majority of that is traded on Binance and Bittrex, of course, fairly well-known exchanges. Daily volumes increased by almost 3 million from last week, so we're up a fair amount. And of course, did just recently list on Binance, so that's probably the catalyst for that. So anyways, so all these metrics caught our attention, so we thought let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper. So just quickly looking at CoinMarketCap, live right now, market cap around 112 million, volume at around 2.6 million, which isn't incredibly high to be fair, but still not low. What I really do like though is the circulating supply of only 3.9 million, which is great. There's a limited amount on the market. With a max supply of 21 million. Obviously it's a fork of Zcash, which was originally a fork of Bitcoin. So it's going to have the same max supply of 21 million. Currently today's rank is around 110th in the market, which is just outside the top 100, which is a great opportunity for people to invest in, because usually it's like, first page Google. Once you pop onto the first page Google, your visibility does increase a lot. So they're just outside that. If we scroll down to some of its price actions since it's hit the market in June of last year, so we're going on for roughly about a year on the market. It looks very, very healthy. No parabolic ups and no parabolic downs. Looks like steady growth. And of course, to highs of around December, January time with the rest of the market. And now, still showing considerable growth, even though we're in a little bit of a bear phase now. But yeah, I do like the look of that, and I think that's a healthy looking chart. If we quickly look at the markets on when Zencash, or where it is traded, it's on the major exchanges. That does show you that it's well represented, and of course got a good enough community behind it. Binance and Bittrex with the majority of its volume. So that's pretty much the price action for Zencash. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into the Zencash website, what it is in a nutshell. And then I found a great article which kind of looks in more depth into what Zencash is and a little bit of analysis on its fundamentals and why it's a great investment. This is done by someone called VertAgOg. So whoever he is, cheers for writing this. It was very insightful, and we'll go over that shortly. Okay, awesome. So Zencash, the secure and private platform for money, messages, and media. So you can see it's recently actually just partnered with IOHK, who is the research and development team behind Cardano, and a lot of you will know that Cardano is a very well respected cryptocurrency, and of course IOHK is respected in itself. Funny enough, you can't actually see me, but I'm actually it's fairly early. I'm off to work soon, but I'm wearing I went to bed actually in an IOHK t-shirt, which I got for free at the last IOHK meetup here in London. But yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Anyways, so let's go through the website. Zen is a platform with the latest privacy technology and self-sustaining funding model with protocol solutions. So this is what caught our attention as well, is that it's not just the currency, it's a protocol with solutions for privacy. So it's not just a money privacy protocol, it's also for, of course, media, and as they've said, of course, for messages. So you got Zen Cash for money, Zen Pub for media, Zen Chat for messaging, and then Zen Hide to hide your web traffic. If we continue downward, just a few points on what it's all about. So 21 million Zen Cash cap, no pre-mined, and of course no ICO, which is a big thumbs up from us. Thousands of secure nodes in operation, 3.5% mining reward, which sounds really very profitable. Treasury funds for development, support, and marketing. So 8.5% of the mining reward goes towards the treasury, which I always think is great for governance, and of course helping the protocol to develop over time. Strong team and representative governance, Zen Blockchain Foundation. We'll go over the team just shortly. Wallets and communication clients for international users. We'll go over the wallets as well. They really do have some great wallets. We won't show you how to download them all, but they've got obviously for iOS, for Windows. They've actually got a paper wallet as well, which I thought was quite cool. And of course, marketing globalization, tailored approach to different markets, which is important. Marketing in today's cycle is very important, as we're in this hype sort of cycle in cryptocurrency. If you're not marketing your product, unfortunately, even though your tech is amazing, you're not going to be able to get in front of your client. Secure nodes provide a resilient and distributed network. That's what we want. We want it to be, of course, resilient to attack, and of course we want it to be distributed because we're into decentralization. Cool. So as you'll see, as we discussed, they have a big focus on research and development, and they've just recently partnered with IOHK, a leading blockchain R&D company. They're looking into governance and the protocol level for the treasury system. Of course, they're doing a study on scalability and network stack anonymization. Yeah, I'll probably mispronounce that, but anyways. So, Zen aims to lead the technology forefront and contribute to humanity through innovation. So, best privacy tech, ZK Snarks, private transactions with hidden sender and receiver information, which of course is important. If you want to be a privacy coin, you have to be able to hide those. Domain fronting hides internet connection endpoints to prevent censorship, which I think is really cool, maybe for people that are in, like, let's say China, where a lot of their internet traffic is censored and they get blocked from certain things by the Chinese firewall. And then of course IPFS to publish or access data anonymously via distributed system. And then of course decentralized autonomous organizations, so a DAO, which I see the future being full of DAOs, but they are quite hard to get going and get started. But they're well on their way to allocate resources to the most advanced treasury model designed with the best privacy tech coupled with an economic theory. So a really great tokenomic theory behind it as well. It's very resilient. It's got a huge amount of active nodes, so over 11,600 nodes. Obviously, as we've discussed already, is focused on research and development. Is very secure. Zencash has node-to-node encryption. The first that has done that, and then of course mineable proof of work and Equihash GPU mining. So if you're into mining, I do suggest looking into Zencash. A lot of the stats, going to skip through that as we just covered that. In terms of their roadmap, of course, let's skip to 2018. Wallets and projects, they're in operation already. We'll pop over to that later. You know, the secure nodes up and going. They've just partnered with research and development. And then things to look forward to in 2019 to deliver to the market is their DAO treasury protocol and voting system, which I'm very looking forward to. A scalability solution, IPFS, publishing, and secure nodes, which all three of those are really, really very exciting projects. If we jump into their team, they have a stacked team. As you can see, a Zencash team is comprised of over 50 members from around the globe. You know, having a distributed team is just as important as a distributed network. You know, you can take different information from different people. We all tend to work differently in different parts of the world, so I do like the fact that they are widely distributed. If we look at their team quickly, I do know they have good partners and advisors as well, but we just scroll through their team. Big set of engineers. We're not going to go into each and every one, but you know, they've got a high amount of people that are working on this project. A lot of software developers and a lot of you know, clever minds behind this team. You'll move on to the UI team. They've got 4 or 5 guys designing the UI, which in my opinion, I like the UI of the website, and I do like the UI of the wallets as well. So pop onto the wallets if you want to check those out. Of course, they take marketing really, really seriously as well, which I think is very important. Like I said, we're in this sort of hype cycle in cryptocurrency. We probably will continue to be in that sort of cycle for the next 18 months to maybe even 3 years, where like the tech isn't the most important. It's more about, you know, an ICO or some sort of crazy hype that you've garnered to make you go to billions, i.e. Tron. But yeah, so they do have a stacked marketing team as well, which is good to see. You can always be very happy to see that. Operations, you know, legal is very important, you know, to make sure that your tokenomics is right, and of course that you're not doing illegal things, to make sure that your investors are well looked after, and that you're not going to go into a lawsuit and lose that sort of credibility on the market. And then of course financing. If we look and scroll up quickly to their partners, we've already discussed quickly regarding IOHK as their research and development. They've also partnered with Code Particle. I'm familiar with them, and not too familiar with InfoPulse, but they do of course have Blue Frontiers, which is really quite cool. They just released a blog in regards to that. I suggest you look at. Not too familiar here with Kida, but it looks like it's a mobile hardware wallet, which is awesome because, you know, a lot of people are now securing their stuff on a mobile, especially newcomers to the industry. And then if we look at their advisors, you know, a lot of the time advisors are very important, but sometimes people consider them to be more important than they actually are. And sometimes just a face on a website is enough to raise millions in an ICO. Not that this is an ICO, but you'll see here they've got Charles Hoskinson, a very well-known man who started IOHK, was also a founding member of Ethereum, and of course the CEO of Cardano. Seen him live a few times in London. I think he does enjoy London, to be fair. Great, so that's the team in a nutshell as well. Of course, guys, I'm not going to dive too deep into each individual person. Remember, if you like this sort of review and you want to dive deeper, do make sure you do a good deep dive into the team members, because at the end of the day, it's the team that's going to make this project worth investing in or not. And that's pretty much in a nutshell what Zencash is. I'm going to pop onto this article just shortly. The article is going to mainly speak about Zencash for money, ZenPub, ZenChat, and ZenTraffic or ZenHide. If you're not keen on listening to me proofread an article, then I'll quickly give this to you in layman's terms here, what Zencash is. Zencash allows for easy transfer of value by using regular T and private Z addresses. T addresses are regular addresses and transactions similar to Bitcoin. Z addresses are called shielded addresses and leverage the latest privacy technology to obscure sender and recipient addresses, as well as the amount that was sent, which is obviously very important. Balances in shielded addresses are private, of course. If sending to one or more shielded addresses, the value stays private, but any transparent addresses on the receiving end will de-shield the token and reveal the value received on the blockchain. So obviously if you receive some money, you're not going to be like, oh man, yeah, it's so private, I don't even know how much money someone sent me. But no, they've obviously built that into the protocol that it's de-shielded once the recipient is to receive that. Zencash is compatible with Bitcoin and Z-derived applications, exchanges, and wallets. So something like Zcash or Zclassic and stuff like that. Okay, let's quickly pop on to what ZenPub is. So ZenPub is so you're able to send media in an anonymous way, which I think is going to be more and more important in the future. So ZenPub gives the users the ability to anonymously publish data, documents, and media in a way that is resistant to censorship. The purpose of ZenPub is to allow individuals to freely publish data or information without fear of reprisal by allowing the individuals to publish from shielded addresses, anonymous, via the Interplanetary File System, so IPFS. And I think that is really a great value proposition. A lot of these privacy coins are literally just privacy money or privacy coins, privacy cash. But like we've discussed already, Zencash has 3 or 4 different use cases, and one of them, which I think is really cool, is ZenPub. So like publishing privacy documents, not like go down to an anonymous pub for a pint. ZenChat I like as well, to be able to anonymously send messages over a protocol. So ZenChat is the most secure messaging application on the market and can be used as a standalone product or embedded within our wallets, which is epic. So you can kind of like chat in from wallet to wallet, which is definitely something new. Users are able to communicate one-on-one through group messaging or set up a dedicated private channels. Channel communication costs a minimal amount of Zencash to prevent clutter and spam. Okay, I totally understand that. You don't want just a whole lot of people using this and spamming the network, so you do need to pay small amount to be able to use this privacy chat. So ZenChat messages are stored permanently in the blockchain to prevent metadata leakage and are encrypted with algorithms such as AES-256. With perfect forward security matching current standards of encryption for secure communication. Secure nodes communication relay is non-traceable. So that's pretty cool. You can download the standalone ZenChat, or you can download the wallet and chat within one of their wallets. So I don't know about you guys, I think that's really, really cool. And then lastly, which is in development, is ZenHide. To be able to hide your web traffic. So domain fronting is a versatile censorship circumvention technique that hides the remote endpoint of communication. Not going to dive too deep into this because it is a little bit confusing, but let's just read the top here. So it works at the application layer using HTTPS to communicate with a forbidden host while appearing to communicate with some other host permitted by the censor. The key idea is the user of a different domain names at different layers of communication. So just lastly here it says domain fronting does not require special cooperation by network intermediaries. We identify a number of hard to block web services such as content delivery networks that support domain fronted connections and are useful for censorship circumvention. So as you can imagine, this could be quite useful for people that are maybe in like China or in states that are censoring certain web traffic, or where the community are worried about people spying on where they are browsing. This could be very important in the future. And to be honest with you guys, not that I'm really knowledgeable on this stuff, but we are getting spied on every day. And that's a fact. You just need to watch a few documentaries on it, and what happened after 9/11, and that America started spying on everybody. The fact that you can hide where you are browsing is important. Quickly before we move on to the article, let's look into mining Zencash for you that enjoy mining. So anyone with a modern graphic card, which is cool, can mine Zencash, proof of work Equihash based GPU mining cryptocurrency. We recommend to spread the hash between pools to prevent a 51% attack. So these are the different pools you can go get involved in. I myself don't actually mine, but I know a lot of you out there do enjoy getting involved in mining, and the fact that you can mine Zencash with a graphics card and you don't necessarily need this incredibly big mining rig is really quite cool, especially if you're new to this and you want to try getting started with minimal investment. Zencash could be a good option for you. And then of course the community, they've got Twitter, Discord, Telegram, Reddit, Bitcoin Talk, obviously in their blog, and then they've got GitHub, which is open source of course, so you can go check out the code if you're into that stuff. So you know they're building their community, and which I think is of course very, very important. So yeah, so popping onto this article, which kind of gives you a different viewpoint on investing in Zencash. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of it. If you've already switched off, then you're probably really going to switch off now, because I'm literally just going to proofread through this. But for you that want to understand a little bit more and do a little bit more due diligence, then stick tight and let's go through this article. So Zen is an encrypted zero trust technology which can be used to securely transmit and store data, may it be private communications or of course financial value. The end-to-end encrypted system integrates the best available technologies to create an open platform by mixing the three core functions that in other blockchain-based infrastructure are traditionally separated, namely transaction of funds within wallets, competitive governance, and of course communication between parties. The main goal by developers is to offer a collection of services and products built around a stack that employs zero knowledge proof, ZK SNARK sort of stuff. This distributed blockchain platform leverages the state-of-the-art techniques to evade censorship from ill-intentional governments or third parties, a set of communication tools based on a completely encrypted protocol, and a model to establish governance designed around a strong set of ethics to make sure that the basic human right of privacy and safety can be guaranteed. So ethics is a very strong part of Zencash, and that's what I really do like. I think these ethical projects are the ones that will stand the test of time. And remember, investing in a project that can stand the test of time, i.e. be around longer than 2 or 3 or 5 years, are the ones that are going to garner incredibly big returns for you. These capacities can be used to serve people who are right now avoided by vital services such as banking and human rights because of absence of identification proof, capital, and of course secure channels. So yeah, this can be useful to a lot of people that are outside the Western world that unfortunately, these things aren't like a human right, which they should be of course, but access to banking, access to proof of who you are in terms of documentation, and then of course access to browsing things anonymously. The information extrapolated from metadata is one focal problem that other cryptocurrencies fail to tackle. For example, when trying to organize the transfer of a certain amount of funds with someone, within Zen, users can be assured that the whole process from communication within parties, transaction of funds, and recipient verification happen in a safe environment which cannot be tainted by eavesdropping or attacks. That is so true. Like when they say metadata, is like, yes, let's say you're using Monero, you are able to do a transaction and it is anonymous. But let's say you were chatting over WhatsApp or you were chatting over Telegram before and said, okay, listen guys, let's send each other some money here so we can kind of hide it. That is what we call metadata, or is my understanding of metadata, is that if someone really wants to track and see what you're doing, they'll start there. They'll start with the communication end, and they'll see where you've communicated and what you've been speaking about in your communication, and then they can kind of find out what you've been up to. They may not be able to know how much money you sent or where you sent it to, but they can still kind of find circumstantial evidence that you're getting up to an anonymous transaction. With Zencash, you're able to, of course, use Zen messaging and chat anonymously, and then you're obviously able to use Zencash and be able to send it. And then maybe you want to send a document to someone, as like a non-disclosure document. you can send that over to them as well using Zencash. And then eventually, once this new protocol is ready, new part of the protocol is ready, you'll be able to anonymously browse as well. So kind of hide your browsing activity on the internet. The tools that have been incorporated in this ecosystem are ZenTalk, a communication network that utilizes Zen blockchain to share and store messages, ZenPub, and then of course ZenHide, as we've gone through already. So I'm not going to go into too much detail here. We've already kind of discussed them. Zen is designed with a decentralization in mind, and this applies to governance model that empowers the community behind Zen. The core idea behind this, and that different DAO models will compete in offering the best service at the minor expense for the community participants, so that the best way to manage this project can be found in a natural way, which will lead to open elections within the group. So that's very important. You know, a DAO is important to have decentralized voting and all the rest, so the community votes on where they believe the DAO should go in terms of its development and yada 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 and all the other beautiful and crazy stuff DAOs do. Okay, so it continues to say some of the things that it offers: servers to validate quality of secure nodes, decentralized server to host internal forums, bots to moderate Slack rooms, Zen websites and blogs, a platform to propose changes and vote them, a repository for binaries such as multi-platform wallets. This stuff might have already been in place now. Keep in mind this article is actually quite old, but I did enjoy reading it, and I did in layman's terms kind of give you an idea of why Zencash is a cool project. So do keep that in mind, that a lot of these things might have already been in place. Zen is definitely not the only blockchain technology that has tried to tackle the anonymity and security problems in the post-Bitcoin world. There's obviously a long list of these, firstly starting with Zcash, and then Zclassic, a fork of that. Actually, a Dash was around, which was actually called Darkcoin. I actually bought Darkcoin, in 2013, not knowing what I was sitting on actually, and sold it, like weeks later to buy more Bitcoin. And if I had just kept that, I would be filthy rich now, considering I had a huge amount of Darkcoin and now it's converted to Dash. Anyways, moving on. Monero, of course, everyone knows of Monero, Zcoin, Bytecoin. Sorry about that. Sorry, Jason. Shadow Cash, Bullberry. Some of these I don't know about, but together with the other zero-knowledge currencies using ZK Snarks, the technology Zcash pioneered. What makes Zen special, though, is the approach to create a set of tools, as we've discussed already. So there's 4 fundamental tools that give you a total suite of anonymous, tools, and not a currency exclusively, that can guarantee a safe place where to operate in total privacy. The strongest point in favor of Zen compared to other tokens focused on anonymity and security is the strong set of ethics upon which its core is founded upon. And I totally agree. Like I said, if you have a strong set of ethics and you have good commercial ethics and good ethics towards your community, you should stand the test of time. And if we stand the test of time, I'll say it again, you're going to make gains, people, big gains. Okay, so he goes on to say, forecasting where he sees it going, of course, is quite hard. And forecasting a potential price point. But what is in the future for Zencash? The team is working on several aspects of the project, and of course are following the ethics behind Zen, ensuring safety and decentralization of a service. And of course there's going to be 1 or 2 problems to get that right. So the first problem is that it has to be tackled in a protection against replay attacks, which happens when chains are split and funds are transferred between them. Could generate extra coins by broadcasting transactions. So it's not all going to be, incredibly easy to do this stuff. But from what I understand, they've been able to get over these sort of potential problems, and have now built a incredible suite of anonymous tools, and are almost a year old already, which is really cool. And then lastly, just to finish off, the Zencash governance system is another important step in the development of this platform, and in order to work, several parts will need to be implemented, such as a proposal system, which will allow users to suggest a change, a voting system which will permit deciding democratically, a funding allocation system which I think is already in place, of course, that allows you to fund towards a funding pool, and they can use that funding pool, the community can vote on that funding pool to improve the protocol. And that's about it from this article, and I must say thank you to Verta investor, trader, blockchain analyst, technical and fundamental analysis for writing this up. It was a good read, and it's helped me to kind of more understand Zencash in a nutshell. I hope it's helped you guys. I want to leave you with, or not leave you right now, but kind of give you an idea of privacy. I know, listen, I'm a director of a brokerage, and we don't actually endorse the sale of privacy coins at this moment because we have to go by KYC and AML regulations. So we don't want to be chased after one day saying, listen, you guys were selling privacy coins XYZ. Do you know what they've been doing with that? And let's say, for example, somehow it runs back to us that some guy bought Monero through us, and he used it to buy a Kalashnikov or something. I don't know. Anyway, so this is a tweet from Vitalik, which was just yesterday, I think. Let's see, 27th of May, yeah, 3:42 p.m. So it reads, I made a comment buried in a Reddit thread yesterday about how my views on privacy have changed over the last few years. I'm more strongly pro-privacy now and was encouraged to signal boost it. So he posted what he had to say in a subreddit. That's, quite cool, because I myself, to be fair with you, over the last few years, never really gave privacy coins much of a shoe-in, because I didn't think there would be mass adoption for it, purely because, I thought governments and central authorities wouldn't like it and would try put some sort of steel ring around it and get rid of it. But they can't really, can they? And I think it has a massive offering, privacy in general. So it's good to see a thought leader like Vitalik himself also changing his mind on it, and looking more towards pro-privacy, or at least having a small amount of privacy, or at least having the opportunity to use privacy, I think. I think that is a good thing, and something that will help us create a better future, that we are able to be more private. Okay, so I'm now going to leave you. I don't know how long this was, but I think it was quite a long video, but mine do tend to go on. I'm going to do a little bit of a speculative price prediction, as I do tend to do now and again. Listen, the fundamentals of this project are super duper strong. Even the technical side are super duper strong. The team are strong, the partners are strong, the tech is strong, and it's in part of an industry that is quite a niche. Obviously there are a lot of privacy coins out there, but they have a suite of products. They have a suite of privacy products, which I really do like. And if we look at, they're listed already on great exchanges, so liquidity, an opportunity for liquidity is there, and it just shows you that these exchanges are taking them seriously. They don't just list any old coin, these exchanges like Upbit, OKX, Binance and Bittrex. They do tend to only list coins that they think are firstly legit and good, even though there are a few that slip through into these exchanges, but that's a good thing to see. And it's been on the market a year. It's sitting just outside the top 100. So if I were to give my price prediction, I would say I would be happy to see Zencash at around $80, within the next 6 to 18 months. I think it could be as high as like 140, if we go into this crazy sort of bull trend cycle that we saw in November, December, January time. It could go, to some serious highs. But to be safe, I would say, if you're looking to pick up any Zencash, by the way, it's not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own due diligence into each project. I would say, look at a price target of around $80 within this year. And if we are in a nice bull trend anytime this year, we could see it high as 140 plus. But yeah, so I would say, to be safe, $80, and I'm going to stick with that because I don't want to over exaggerate. Sometimes I do get some hate on how high I do predict these things, but I'm an eternal optimist when it comes to crypto. And I do have, guys that work with me that do a lot of research into these projects as well, and they do give me enough information for me to make these predictions. So yeah, I would say $80. And then just to leave you guys, remember, we're going to do this community vote on which coins we're going to cover each Friday going forward. So we've actually come to a decision that we're going to do a coin review every Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're going to try our very hardest to stick to that. And then on every Friday, we're going to do a community coin, which is voted by you guys, of course. Unless you guys don't vote, and then, we won't bother. And regardless of what you guys choose, we will cover. And the vote will start on a Monday. We'll tweet it out on a Monday. And then we will continue the vote until a Thursday evening. And then that allows us to prepare for the video on a Friday. So I'm going to put that link to the Twitter in the description and in the comments. And again, I'm going to put in our link to our BitAssist newsletter, which is a really awesome newsletter. It comes out every Monday morning. It's got a lot of great information there to give you an idea of the market. We also do include an altcoin every week that we do recommend to look at. So if you want some inside information, make sure you take advantage of that and subscribe. And besides that, if you've enjoyed this, please do go ahead and like the content. It's going to help us be found on YouTube. And of course, we want to grow this community. So the easier we are found, the easier we can grow our community. And then, of course, if you've enjoyed this and you haven't yet subscribed to BitAssist, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, pop on our subscribe button, and we'll be very, very keen to bring you good content as much as we can. And that's what we have for. So I'm Maximilian, your crypto broker, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Cheers.